Fans from all around the world, welcome to another MPJ interview special. Tonight we have Cole from Stud Farm Mafia.
Hello, Shums.
How you doing, Cole?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you guys doing?
We're very, very well, thank you. So,
you know what? Before we start, you're such a lovely, positive bunch of people, and it's just nice chatting with you, really.
Well, thank you very much. Well, we've got the next 30 minutes to discover that.
Oh, brilliant.
We'll find out.
I might hate you. We'll find out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't blame you.
I mean, well, one of us maybe, but we won't go into that. What? Anyway, excitingly, we met Cole about 6 weeks ago when we went to a gig in Guildford, and you were supporting Adam and the Hellcats and Circus 66. And I'm saying right now, you were my favourite band out of the three. No, I'm telling you, I was absolutely. I thought you were absolutely terrific. And I said to Trish, I said, I loved that band. I absolutely loved them. And then we said, we'll see if we can have a chat with Cole and see if we can get him to come on the show. And then we knew we were going to get you because you went around and hugged every single person in the room. You were just constantly hugging. Correct. And then you even give me a hug as well, which is really, I know, right?
Of course.
So there we go.
I'm sorry about that.
And everyone is deserving of a hug if they want one.
Absolutely. So now, Cole, tell the listeners out there, if they don't know who you are, how would you describe your music? Because it's fair to say that you guys are on a bit of a journey right now. Is that right?
Yeah, it is actually. Okay, so I describe us as modern hard rock. I mean, there's lots of stuff. There's a bit of metal, bit of new metal, bit of punk. There's some rap in some of these songs, which I've never done before.
Yeah.
Which you guys saw towards the end of the night. That's an unreleased track that I'm really excited about. It's pretty heavy. It's pretty hooky. It's awesome rock and roll, which is basically what I'm here for, really. It's possible that some of your viewers might recognise me because we did used to be another band.
Yeah.
So we got sort of known on the scene pretty well as Hell's Gazelles. We've been on a bit of a journey. So towards the end of 2019, we felt like, we'd made so many friends and we had such a wonderful connection, and it felt bad, but we felt like the music that we were playing didn't really represent what we were doing at the time anymore, what we were writing, the stuff we were listening to. And we said, right, that band, we're going to finish it. We've committed to all these gigs in 2019. I think we did about 30 shows that year. And we were like, right, we've committed to that. And then we're going to stop in 2019 and we're going to start again. We're going to write an album, or we're going to write a load of new music. And that's how we're going to start 2020. And we didn't have a band name at that point, but we knew it was going to be a different band. It wasn't just going to be we were changing the name or something. We were going to do a different entity, but with the same musicians. Because, the music that I listened to growing up, and that's going to come up a lot, I'm sure, but I still listen to, but I also listen to so much, awesome rock from the last 10, 20 years, and there's so many bands making amazing new music and really pushing forwards, and I was thinking, that's something I really want to be a part of. And so we wanted to push our own limits and try something new. And now we're Stud Farm Mafia. We've released a few songs. We did our first show back with Circus 66, so we go way back with Circus 66, and they're such a great band.
Absolutely.
They're amazing players, and they're just great musicians, and they're so much fun. And so they asked us, and we were like, do you know what? This is going to kick us into gear to get the set together, because we'd recorded all these songs, but we're going to get the set together. We're going to start doing it live again. And now I'm in the process of booking shows. So it's all happening.
It's all happening. And so back in 2019 then, I think I vaguely remember you saying you were very much playing the kind of classic kind of 80s, 90s sort of rock music. And so what was your Where did that inspiration come from? Who was your kind of your point of references, or who was in your DNA then back then?
I mean, ultimately, all of that stuff is still within me. So I've been singing since before I could walk, before I could talk, even really. So my parents used to sing to me when I was a baby, and I know all those songs. George Gershwin and folk songs, Scarborough Fair and all that. Are you going to Scarborough Fair? And all that stuff, and that's been in me since forever. And I listened to loads of music as a kid, and my dad played piano. He's a brilliant blues pianist, and my uncle was in a rock and roll band. So my uncle, he actually played with Crazy World of Arthur Brown for a little while.
Okay.
But he currently plays and has played for the last 20 years with a guy called Jackie Linton. I don't know if you guys would have heard of him, but he started out in the 50s and he wrote songs with Rick Parfitt of Status Quo, and he was big with them. I think there's a Status Quo live album where he's the guy introducing them, And so having this uncle who's an amazing, awesome, fantastic rock and roll guitarist, music has been within me since then, and seeing Back to the Future and Johnny B. Good. And then I ended up singing, I sang at the choir, and I started singing at school in assemblies and things. And that's when Nath, my best friend, the guitarist in our band, sort of came into my life. Now, I'd actually known Nath since I was about 5, but then we came into each other's lives. And also, Uncle Chris, he got me, my Queen compilation at one point, and that was a big one for me. Freddie Mercury's always been a huge one for me. And then when Nath came into my life, and he said, I know all these rock bands. And I was like, okay, well, I just started going and picking up CDs, and I picked up AC/DC, and I picked up Led Zeppelin, and I picked up Black Sabbath. And when I was 15, Black Sabbath was the one for me. So me and Nath, we'd sit in my room, we'd raid my dad's drinks cabinet, and we'd drink gin that tasted like shoe polish, and he'd put on, AC/DC, what I had Back in Black, but he had Highway to Hell, and I ended up preferring the Bon Scott stuff. And I would put on Paranoid, and that's still one of my favourite albums. I mean, I'm repping today the Black Sabbath vest top, because they were so special to me. And it wasn't the first time I'd listened to Black Sabbath. So I remember on a playground when I was about 12, a friend of mine said, hey, listen to this. And he plugged this into my ears, and I heard these sounds, these guitar sounds, and I thought, what is this? I'd never heard anything like it, and really I haven't quite heard anything quite like it since. And it was Iron Man. Those, that music changed how I listen to music. And so obviously, as we're recording this, the great Ozzy Osbourne has just passed, and I had a little sob, and I thought, I was coming into this thinking, it's a little historic moment for me particularly, but for everyone in our sort of music scene, because heavy alternative music would not exist in the way that it does without the legacy of Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath.
Ozzy, when he was with Black Sabbath, for me was him at his best, and I loved the sound. When he went more solo, I couldn't tune into Ozzy's vocals, but one thing that I ended up not being a huge fan of Ozzy, but what I was a fan of, and I think you're absolutely perfectly right, he was one of the greatest rock performers of that generation.
Oh yeah,
he was an incredible performer. I mean, you look at all the very political correctness that exists in the world today. I mean, God, if somebody these days pretended, and I think it was a pretend, he didn't really bite the head off a bat.
Do you know what?
That's it.
I've looked into the bat. So he did, but he thought it was like a toy jelly bat.
Right.
So someone threw it on. He thought it was a jelly bat. And a bit into it, and of course the whole Prince of Darkness thing, he was a lovely bloke, and the other thing is a lot of stuff has come out around, he was anti-Christian. He was a Christian his whole life.
It's clickbait, isn't it?
And it's funny that a lot of normies don't sort of recognise the wonderful things of the humanity of people that are left field. You know?
You could always tell from that he was a family man. You know, the drugs killed him in the end of the day, but he still lived to a bloody good age despite all the drugs he had. He lived his life, didn't he? So obviously Ozzy, big influence in your life. Now, in terms of then this flick, this switch in your head, or the band's head in 2019, and this is obviously because then COVID obviously hit just after that. Yeah. So what was influencing you then? So if you've gone through very much like me in terms of Black Sabbath, AC/DC, Led Zepp, that was all kind of my
Iron Maiden as well.
I have seen Iron Maiden so many times, very much in that DNA. How? What switched in your head? What was that musical influence? Because you said you were listening to great rock music of the time. So what kind of maybe switched in your head then?
Well, one of the wonderful things about being friends with Nath. So Nath is the guitarist in our band. He's the one with the long hair who's exceedingly good looking, which is frankly very rude. But he's always been very much a sort of music discoverer, right? So that's really he will always come to me with new bands and stuff. It's ironic really, because some bands I've got to him. So Rage Against the Machine are a band that I love, and I introduced. He knew who they were and he'd heard Killing in the Name, but I really introduced him. I was like, you need to check this out. Let's listen to Tom Morello on this, you know. But in around that era when we decided to change, you know, I was listening to a lot of Biffy Clyro. Don Broco. If you don't know Don Broco, I mean, I love Don Broco.
One of the greatest videos of our time. the cowboy one.
What's going on?
The
cowboy one.
Oh my God! What? I mean,
the other stuff so I'm really glad that you guys like them, because their newest stuff as well. Amazing Things was their album recently. Just like there's not many points in your life when you listen to something and you go, wow, like I really get that, and that really speaks to me personally with my taste and everything. So Don Broco is another one of those. I really like Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes.
His last album was terrific. It was my favourite. It was a bit less punk, but I loved it.
Yeah, but he's just such a great musician, and he's also explored his voice a bit more. And the other thing is that, like, you know, though I'm very much a singy singer, as you can tell from our stuff, like, a huge part of it for me is about being a performer, being a good frontman. And though Frank Carter isn't a singy singer, he's a fantastic vocalist.
Yes.
In the sense of he is so able to portray ideas and emotions and things in his music, and I love that. And you know, there was other bands, like, it was a bit of a journey, because before that there was a band, I don't know if you ever heard of Heaven's Basement. Do you ever hear of them? They're phenomenal.
No.
They're really, really good. And so that was to me a bit of a bridging point, because they had a lot of this sort of classic influence, but they were very much a modern band. And ironically, so their old guitarist is the producer that we work with all our music now.
Wow.
And he wrote some of my favourite songs. Like, some of those songs that Heaven's Basement did are some of my favourite songs of all time. Genuinely, I Am Electric is a really good song. If you want to listen to a bloody good song, I Am Electric by Heaven's Basement, phenomenal, right? And he wrote it, you know, and that's awesome. So I'm recording with it.
So when you pitched then, if you were doing 30 gigs and you were on that road and that journey, was it much of a, you know, because obviously Nate you came on board. What about the rest of the band? Was resistance to that change, or how does that work internally, or did you just charm them to death, Cole, with that winning smile of yours? And
well, you just turn on the charisma.
No, right. Take your best side.
You know what? It was quite wonderful, actually, because it was just natural. Because me and Nate are sort of the songwriting pair, and our bassist situation was very fluid at the time. We'd had one guy leave, and then we'd fired one guy who is now back with us. You know, that's all. It was a very, very perfectly nice thing. Our bass player is a guy called Rickard Rydmark, who's from Sweden, and he's the coolest guy in the world. When you watch this, Rick, love you to pieces. But we fired Rick, which he knows why. He's such a phenomenal bass player that everyone wants him, and so he's been playing in a functions band that plays a lot of. He plays like Ascot, plays like the horse races and stuff, like. And his schedule was so demanding that he just wasn't able to commit to us to all these gigs we were doing at the time. And over COVID, we got back in touch with each other, and he was just like, do you know what? I really want to do this. I really, really want to do this. Doing an original band, making great music. And I was like, fuck yeah, fucker. So, and he loves a lot of modern heavy stuff, a lot of gent stuff, a lot of prog stuff. He loves like Polyphia and Periphery and like Sleep Token and all those really heavy bands. And I really like, though, like some of those I think are brilliant. I mean, I think they're all brilliant, really. But some of them don't really appeal to me that much. But some of them really do. But it's so great having that influence in there. And so Luke was just right on board. The drummer, Luke, he's amazing.
So obviously, look, it's been 2020, 6 years. Obviously, COVID was it was a couple of years of gap now. So why has it taken you so long now to get to this point where you're starting to write songs and stuff? Is it been personal, or has it become what?
It's been tricky, actually. So, a lot of life stuff has happened. Like a lot, and that's always the problem with bands, and some of us have had kids, some people have got married, but so we were like, we're going to put this on a back burner. And the other thing was that with the songwriting, so we've actually been recording for basically the last year, pretty much, year and a bit, and we wanted to make sure we had a full set out before we started really just going out into the world again. And so it took us all that time, but before that, we were really trying to find our feet. Yeah. Just trying to work out, how are we going to sound? So me and Nath were meeting up. Once we were allowed to, me and Nath started meeting up again and started writing songs again. And do you know what? Like, we've currently got a record coming out. We've not even named it yet, but we've got the 6 songs that we want for this EP that we're going to be putting out sort of in the next whenever. The amount of stuff we binned is just so much, because we were like, this isn't right, and we approach it with a lot more scrutiny than we used to. And I think that, also we had to wait till Rick was on board as well, because he wasn't there for a part of it. But a lot of life happens. Some stuff I can't go into, but some stuff I can. Like, people moving house and moving away. Oh. And
no, absolutely.
And obviously COVID just took bloody ages. It just dragged on and on and on. And we were like, and bands started coming back, and we were like, oh, I'm not sure. Can we do this yet? Is it safe to do this? I don't know. There was a lot of, we were just ignorant,
So what's your day job then? You got to keep paying the bills.
I could be mysterious. I could say I'm actually an alligator tamer.
I did pen you for that, in fairness.
Yeah, I mean, I got the guns for it. You've got to wrestle them down.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm actually a receptionist for an adult mental health facility.
Oh, fantastic!
That's what I do.
Yeah.
And when I'm not being Larry, I'm being nice to people who aren't well, basically. And I'll tell you what, it's the best job in the world.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be. I sort of put career stuff on a hold because of the band for most of my 20s. But it's really important to me. It sounds really silly because I'm just working a front desk somewhere. But the stigma around mental health is so ugly, and I tell you what, they're some of the nicest people I know. So I've a lot of regular patients. I know 90% of them by name. We have a chat, and it's nice being a part of people getting better.
Oh,
and I love seeing people come in.
Well, it is interesting. It doesn't surprise me because empathy oozes off you. Your stage charisma was what struck me, and that was definitely because I
have you at the end of the phone.
Because I like certain styles. I really don't quite appreciate Adam's style. I think he's a fantastic performer and very creative. but I don't particularly like his stage presence in terms of making me come up and dance. If you ask me to come up and dance, I'll do it. But you know, and everybody's got a different style, and I was more drawn to your style than I would be to Adam's style. And by the way, just if Adam ever listens to this, I think you are fucking super talented.
Yeah, he's great.
Very, very talented guy. So it doesn't surprise me that that you're in that sort of line of work. It's a wonderful revolution. Right, we are a very, very important part of the show. It's probably it's the one everybody tunes in. It's the moment everybody tunes in for. It's why we're here today, and it's called Trish time. Yes, it's Trish time. Trish, hand over to you. Hit your questions.
Hello. So, what do you hope people take away from your music?
Oh, big old riffs. I like big old riffs and a bit of joy. Big old riffs and a bit of joy. We try and write catchier stuff than we used to. So, I just horrible invasive earworms, I suppose. But I like making people go. I like people making people do this face. That face. Yeah. When you listen to something, you go, oh yeah. Like when you listen to Ace's Spades, you go, oh. Oh, that.
Yeah, I think I might have been pulling those faces. So, but there we go. So, yeah, go on. Next question, Trish.
What's the best advice that you've ever been given as a musician?
Do you know what? I saw you ask Annabelle this, and I thought about this long and hard. Ooh. I'm going to try and quantify this into a phrase.
Okay.
And it sounds like an unkind phrase, but it's really not. It's about yourself and thinking about yourself, self-preservation. Don't take criticism from people to whom you wouldn't go to for advice. I had someone. So that sounds like it's a mean thing, and it's not about not respecting people, but it's about. I used to get a lot of advice, and particularly in my 20s. So. As you've sort of said, I run about a lot on stage, and I do the big performing thing. And a guy came up to me after a show once and said, do you know what? You shouldn't do that because you're taking away from the band up there, and they're all brilliant performers, and you're taking away from them. And I said, no, you don't understand. You don't understand. Nath has described this to me, right? Nath is a fantastic guitarist, and he's got a really clear idea of the whole stage thing. He says, we're a football team, and you're the striker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, Wayne Rooney's brilliant, but without the team behind him, he's nothing at all. And so my job is to be the front man. And so, and Nate was really proud of me because I said this to the guy. And usually I'm like, oh yeah, I want to be nice to people, but I was really firm about it. And, you know, I was thinking, you know, you're someone who's come up with this and it's funny opinion. Actually, I wouldn't go to advice for it. I wouldn't go to your advice. So that's something I live by in my daily life as well as in music. You know, I really listen to the people that I know what they're talking about. But I take with a pinch of salt everything else.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because you know, all the great front men then they get surrounded by people, whether it's intentional or non-intentional, that then stoke that ego and then say, well, you could go and do this by yourself. You don't need your band. And of course, that is and that's happened countless times. Queen is a perfect example, where actually you're only as good as the whole. You know, and you know. I'm glad you said that because it's really important.
Exactly, you're nothing. You're nothing. A good front man is brilliant, but a good front man without, it's like Bruce Dickinson or Robert Plant or Mick Jagger or any of these brilliant front men. You know, they're one cog in a machine, and that's what I am. But it's my job to do that, so I do it as well as I can.
Carry on, Trish.
100%. Okay, so I've got some quick fire questions, which I think you've probably seen. Yeah. Favourite film?
Favourite film? Oh, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Good choice.
Classic.
Or Hotel Rwanda, I quite like that. Or favourite food, chicken tikka.
Okay. This was Annabelle's favourite one. Favourite word, which she changed into favourite.
Oh my god! I remember.
Oh my
god. That changes day to day. I've got a choice of two.
You can have both.
Okay, I like Plinth.
Plinth?
Plinth. It's a weird one. Plinth. Quite like Plinth. I also quite like paracetamol, moxifrezine, benzoyl,
oh, there we go then. He's been practicing that one, isn't he?
Favourite type of weather?
I like spring. It's been too hot for me. I like it a bit sunny. It's been a bit too hot for me recently. I like spring, so when it's sunny, I can go out and I'm not necessarily going to burn. That's what I like.
I talk to a lot about...
I love a sunny day. But I'll tell you what, I love my fiance, and there's nothing nicer than having a rainy day at home, having a cuddle on the sofa. I love that.
Aww.
I'm a big fan. I'm a softly man at heart.
I've got two more.
I have just a comment on this one, Tricia. I have a lot of American clients, and I say to them, and they say, "Oh, what's the weather on there?" I say, "Well, us Brits. If it's more than 25 degrees, we moan. If it's less than 20 degrees, we moan. Put us in the middle. We're happy as Larry."
Lush.
Lush. Sorry, Trish. Carry on.
Favourite song?
Oh, that's an impossible task, isn't it? Oh God! Oh, why have you said that?
It's rehearsals are out the window now, Trish. You've stopped him.
I genuinely can't possibly choose. Someone said a wonderful thing to me once, which is your favourite song is the one you're playing right now. So what did I play on Spotify most recently? Hang about. Apparently my favourite song today was Iron Fist by Motorhead, which is one of my favourite Motorhead songs. It's amazing. I love that.
I know the answer to this last question. Favourite singer?
Oh, do you know what? You've said that, and that's hard.
Am I going to be wrong?
You might be.
You're not donning the T-shirt of your favourite singer.
Well, I bloody love Ozzy, but I've got a lot of favourite singers. I've never been able to quantify that. Do you know? People ask me that a lot. I love Freddie. I love Ronnie James Dio. I love Bruce Dickinson. I love Rob Halford. I love Katie Melua. Screaming Jay Hawkins. Robert Plant.
The list goes on.
I'm going to say today my favourite singer is Ozzy.
Ozzy, fair enough.
Yeah.
Because he's bloody brilliant. Is my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
I will end my segment on that and hand back to Nigel to wrap up.
So, one of my favourite tracks, which absolutely cracked me up, was about all going to the gym and your hip hop rap that you kind of played, which I thought was absolutely, because sometimes you could be funny in a song and it's not funny, but sometimes you could be tongue in cheek, and your song was tongue in cheek. What was your inspiration to now go to add in a bit of hip hop into rock? Because I think if that's done right, and I thought you did it really well, it's glorious.
Do you know what? There's a few reasons for that. So I'll tell you what. I'm really glad you said the thing about humour, because that's a funny thing. So I mean, one of the big bands,
it is a funny thing. Humour.
It is a funny thing.
It's a funny thing, isn't it? I'm glad you said that. Humour, funny, good lad.
One of the bands that I grew up loving, and actually I should have mentioned them earlier, really, but it's one of the bands that sort of got me into rock music was The Darkness.
Yeah.
And always just full of witty, silly stuff, right? And some people it was too much, and some people it wasn't enough. Some people it was just right. But I love The Darkness, and I've seen them 100 times. I think they're brilliant. Yeah. And that's always stuck with me. We'd never done that before. And we mentioned earlier that I love Don Broco. Don Broco's full of that. It's brilliant, but it's clever and it's funny. Yeah. And there's stuff like, the song Bruce Willis. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Yeah.
So that kind of, a bit of Don Broco, but also I'm big into soft play, previously called Slave, soft play. And they had done a song, I've forgotten what it's called. Mirror Muscles. They did a song called Mirror Muscles, right? A while back, and I loved it. I played it loads when it came out, and it went away. And coincidentally, over the last sort of year or so, year and a bit, I've just got really into the gym, And I started just listening to more and more aggressive music at the gym, which is a lot of my favourite stuff. I listen to a lot of Motorhead and stuff at the gym, and Sepultura I really like, and Pantera I really like. And as you can tell, I have a very southern British accent. And it can be a little bit rough around the edges, but can be a little bit more posh at times. And when I get a bit leery, so that sort of fucker comes out. And I really wanted, when writing these songs, to sing in my own accent more, because people always drift into this American thing, and I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that. I love when people sing in their own accent. And the more I started writing, I was like, this stuff sounds good when I speak it rather than sing it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, we listened to a bit of Limp Bizkit when we were kids as well and stuff like that. And it just sort of started coming out. Rage Against the Machine, another big one for me, really big one for me. And it just started happening. And in all our other music, I've been very singy. Very singy. If you listen to the old band and this band, it's very musical. But I was just like, something that I like as a singer, and I do quite well, particularly live, is I can enunciate in a really powerful way. And I was like, this is an opportunity for me to do even more of that. So I just go, do you know what? I'm just going to try it. And I started writing it almost as a joke, because I was just like, this is so silly. It's because Nath said this one phrase to me. He said, someone call the vet. I've got 2 sick swans. And I was like, oh, mate, that needs to go into something. Someone call the vet. I've got 2 sick swans. Bam, riff,
Yeah,
I was like, I've got to do that. And that line didn't make it into the song. But I started writing it, and Nathan started riffing. And I was like, oh, this is a bit bloody good. And then it just came together. So that song is now called Gun Show. It's 2 tickets to the Gun Show. And I'm not sure when it'll come out. Probably in the next few months, I imagine.
So talking about the next few months then, now you're back, and it's obviously you guys have got, because sometimes you do need a bit of a kick, and then suddenly you're in the groove, and it sounds like you've now got yourselves into the groove and steam ahead. What's the plan for the next 6 months, Cole?
Okay, so I'm currently having a chat with a press guy. I won't reveal who he is, but we worked with him before, and we're thinking of using him again. I've got a meeting with Nath tomorrow. Not tomorrow. What day is it today? It's Thursday. On Sunday. I thought it was Saturday. It's all nice and sunny. I feel like it's a Saturday. I've got a meeting with Nath on Sunday, and then we've got 3 songs left unreleased. So the plan is we're doing a little waterfall. We'll do single, and then we're going to release them all together as an EP. I'll tell you what, if you're listening today, your task is to work out what on earth we're going to name this EP. So we've got a song that is about to be announced, but why don't we announce it here? So we've got a song called So Pretty coming out, which is the next one we're going to do, which is going to be in the next few weeks. And you two have heard it before, because we did it at the show. And it's a song about, do you know what, it's sort of quite concurrent with the band coming back. It's about finding yourself after it's about finding yourself after a really horrible breakup, right? I had a really awful breakup in 2019, funny enough, and it's about when you finally go, do you know what, I'm going to have a shower, I'm going to sort myself out, I'm going to go out and face the world, and I'm going to be me again, and I'd written this chorus, and then Nath was like, oh, bloody hell, that's a bit bloody good, we better turn that into something. And so that's the next song we're going to release, So Pretty, and it's quite catchy, and it's got some big old riffy bits in it, make you do that face. And the next we're going to release that one, then we've got 2 more songs we're going to release as part of an EP, and I think over the next couple of weeks I'm going to be sitting away, squirreling away, talking to promoters and booking a bunch of shows. That's my plan.
Fantastic. Maybe the album can be called Guns for Hire.
Guns for Hire, that's quite good. Yeah. Do I have to give you money for that?
No. And just an exclusive when you're rich and famous, so there we go. An exclusive to those beautiful big guns, so there we go. Anyway.
Excellent.
It's been an absolute joy, Cole. Thank you very much.
For me also.
Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, genuinely, I suppose, sometimes when you see a performer, don't let it get to your head, but instantly you go, Oh, I just bloody love them. I genuinely do. And you got me as a fan. So I can't wait. Dopamine, and I download your music, and I love Dopamine. That actually.
Dopamine.
Thank you so much.
That made my cool playlist. So if it makes my cool playlist, you know it's good. So it made
the cool playlist.
The cool playlist. The Mr. MPJ himself. There we go. So there we go. So Dopamine made it in there. So fantastic. So we wish you all the very best. Yeah, thank you very much. We wish you all the very best.
Wishing you and the band every success. 100% will be supporting you.
I am going to look forward to seeing you at your next gig. I shall be there, and so with Trish, obviously. And thank you very much, and keep on rocking. Good luck on your continued journey, young Cole, and good luck to you and the band. Thank you very much. Keep on rocking.
Thank you. Bye-bye.